first time I saw Chad?
The first time that I saw Catie Porter,
there was a dance party going on in his ward, and he was going around and inviting the people in my ward to the dance party.
I went over to the other ward to try to find people, girls, to come to the dance. And so I went and knocked on all the girls' apartments and invited them, and I saw Catie and her friend Sarah in front of their apartment.
Chad lived right across the street from me, but we were in different wards. So we didn't know each other yet.
And I just said, hey guys, I come to the dance, and Sarah was like, oh, like this girl's named Catie, and she's like the center of every party.
I hear dance party, and I love dance party. He says, hey, you guys should come to this dance party, and I didn't want to just go by myself.
And Catie showed up with some people, and I didn't really have that much of an interest.
So I show up, I got 2 guys from my ward, and we went to this dance party, and it was great. I didn't talk to Chad. As I was leaving, I hear this, bye Catie, and I look back, and Chad's like against the screen like this, and he's like, bye Catie.
A couple days later, it was a Saturday, we were having an elders quorum activity, and we were all outside my apartment, me and all the elders in my ward, getting ready to go. And I saw her get out of the car with another guy. I knew she had just been on a date. But one of my buddies turned to me and said, that girl is a dime. And up until that point, I knew she was a cute girl, but when my buddy said that to me, I looked at her and I just thought, wow, yeah, she is really attractive. So we went to our elders quorum activity, and it was fun. We get home, and I saw Catie get picked up by another guy to go on another date. I knew it was a date just by the way they were acting. I thought that was so funny, and I was sitting on my front porch, and I was like, I'm gonna go knock on her door.
I get home from my second date, and I hear a knock on the door. And I had seen Chad across the street when I came home from my date, and I was just praying that it was Chad. And so I go and open my door, and he's just chilling on the bench outside my door. And
I was super confident. I wasn't scared at all because I really wasn't looking for a relationship or anything. I just wanted to tease her.
He's looking at you, he goes, if I'm not mistaken, you just got back from your second date today. And I said, oh no, I'm caught.
You're one of those girls that gets asked out all the time, and she was like, no, like this usually doesn't happen. And I'm thinking in my mind, no, this always happens. So I said, I'm guessing number 3 is coming to pick you up. And she's like, actually, I actually do have another date. And I was like, oh my heck. And at that point, I kind of lost interest because I don't really like to have to compete.
I was in the middle of getting ready for my 3rd date, but I sat on the bench and we talked for a while. And I just remember thinking that he was really fun and attractive and cute. So Tuesday, I was out on my lawn all day long because I just wanted to see him. I just wanted him to come out, and I wanted to talk to him and see him, get to know him.
Some people in my ward were going to see Wonder Woman, and we got a big group together, we bought tickets, and we had a spare ticket. At that point, I hadn't asked Catie out on a date yet because I was dating another girl, but we had this extra ticket, and my roommate Sam texted me and said, hey, we have this extra ticket, do you have anyone you want to invite? And immediately Catie came into my mind, and I felt like it was pretty safe because I mean technically it wasn't a date. I went over there and I asked her if she wanted to come to Wonder Woman, and I tried to make it very clear that it wasn't a date. She turned on me and said, well, you have a girlfriend.
He goes, well, it's not really a date, but it totally was.
I just like said, okay, it's not a date though, we're just going out in a big ward, and so she did come, and it was really fun.
After the date, we talked until, I don't even know, I think it was 1 a.m. We stayed out really late, and we were just talking about everything about life and school and family and church and just everything. And anyway, he was about to leave. He put his hands on his hips like this and tilted his head, and he goes, Catie, what do you think about me?
I think it kind of caught her off guard, but I told her I was interested in her, and I can't even remember what she said. I don't think I was paying attention because I was so scared and nervous.
And I was like, I don't know, I don't even know you. And so we just established that we were both interested in each other and that we would like to see where things would go. The next day he took me to lunch. That night he asked me out on another date. And I said, I am not going to go on another date with you unless you break up with your girlfriend.
So I left, came back 15 minutes later, single man, and then I asked her out and we went golfing and it was fun.
And then ever since then, we seriously spent every second we could with each other. It was summer, so I would go to work, he would go to work, and then we'd come home and we would be together all the time. It was really fun. And Chad's very different than the boy I expected I would end up with. He is very enthusiastic. So I think it was kind of weird for me at first because I wasn't used to being around someone who was so... After a week, we just weren't really feeling it and we broke things off.
And it only took me about 3 seconds to realize that was the dumbest decision I had ever made. She left and I just missed her so much.
And the next day, I was outside, he said, let's talk. I remember we were sitting on his curb and I said, man, I just don't know. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And he goes, Catie, change your mind. Change your mind, Catie.
2 days later she did. She called me and she wanted me to go to Aunt Juna's house and I spent time with her and her mom and it was so fun to be around her family. And I think at that point I had gone home and I wrote in my journal that I love Catie Porter. I didn't tell her I loved her till like 2 weeks later, but then I wrote in my journal that I loved her and I knew that I did and I knew that I wanted something with her. I think I actually wrote in my journal that I wanted to marry her, like the second weekend. And yeah, it was fun and we were just crazy, super spontaneous. We wanted to just be crazy and so we planned this trip to Las Vegas and we canceled it, then we put it back on, then we canceled it again and then we went and it was so fun. We drove all the way down there, stayed at my aunt and uncle's house, or my cousin's house, stayed at my cousin's house, and we just laughed the entire time. And we talked the entire drive for 6 hours straight. We talked non-stop.
The time that we spent together in Vegas was when I realized that I did want to date him. I wanted to commit and see where it would go.
As we kept dating, I just kept getting these overwhelming feelings that I just loved her and I wanted her to know that I loved her. And I remember one night we were sitting on her couch and I said, Catie, I need to tell you something because if I don't, I think my heart is going to explode. I told her, you do not have to say this back. I didn't want to pressure her into saying that she loved me, but I said I love you so much. And I've never felt like this towards a girl before.
And I thought that was really cute and I just said, thank you for telling me. And I didn't say it back because I didn't know if I felt that way yet. I think it was like a week after that, we were sitting outside and I was really tired. And when I'm tired, I kind of say things. We were sitting there and Chad said, I just love you so much. And I touched his face and I said, I love you too. And immediately after I said that, I thought, oh crap.
And that's how she told me that she loved me for the first time. She was falling asleep and just kind of said, I love you. But eventually she did say it to me and meant a lot to me and I know she loves me now. But it was just funny the first time she said it to me. It was just like, hey man, what?
Cause lovers dance when they're feeling in love. The spotlight shining, it's all about us. It's all about us.
He asked me about my ring size one night and then after that it was just like, everything just worked out.
I asked her what her ring size was and that just kind of started an avalanche of wedding things. Just like we started talking about getting married, we went ring shopping and just a ton of fun and exciting things. And we were still really nervous and I could tell that Catie was not ready yet and I was just waiting for her to be ready.
We were going ring shopping and making wedding plans, but I wanted to know that the Lord approved of this relationship and I don't know why he wouldn't. And I just needed that. I needed that yes from the Lord. My dad gave me a blessing that night and it really helped me to understand that the Lord approved of this and that I needed to make the decision. And I was so excited and I just sat there crying with my parents and I just went straight to his house. It was like 1 a.m. and I texted him and said, hey, I'm out front, I need to talk to you. And we talked for a long time and we were so happy. I just remember how happy I was, just feeling like I had made a good decision.
Cause lovers dance when they're feeling in love. The spotlight shining, it's all about us. It's all about us.
Buying the ring was really hard for me because buying the ring for me was the point of no return. That's when I was not gonna back out anymore. And I remember sitting in the parking lot of Wilson Diamonds thinking, am I really gonna do this? Am I gonna go buy this ring and propose to this girl to be with her forever? I called my dad and I said, Dad, I don't know if this is right. My dad said very sternly, he said, Chad, move forward with faith. And so I just screamed YOLO, got out of my car, I went and I bought the ring. After I bought the ring, I thought I was just gonna be like, yes, but I was still like, oh my gosh, this is so scary. And then, I don't know what it was, but I was on this drive and it just like, I was ready. And I threw my fist in the air and I just started screaming because I was so excited to propose to her.
He had me convinced that it wasn't coming for 2 weeks. Little did I know, it actually came the next day. So he had the ring. I can't believe he didn't blow it. Chad's really bad with surprises.
Catie was convinced that the ring was coming a few weeks later. And I had gone through a lot of things to convince her that it was coming later. I made fake receipts, made fake text messages. I faked a lot of things so that she knew that it was coming later.
We went and did ceilings one night. And I remember we were sitting in the ceiling room and he was just grinning. He was just cheesing it up. And I was just like, why are you staring at me? I mean, like, he looks at me, but it was more than normal. And
well, I had the ring with me when we went and did ceilings, and I remember we were doing ceilings in the temple, and I kept looking at her, and I could not wipe the smile off of my face because I was so excited to get married, to propose to her. Anyways, we walk out of the temple, and I get a text from Pete that says Southwest Bench, Second Fountain, which was the location he had mapped out to take pictures of us.
And we walk out, and Chad is texting his sister. I'm like, stop texting your sister, I'm freezing. Can you walk and text at the same time?
And I'm like the kind of guy who would fake a proposal. So I was like, she's not gonna believe I'm really gonna do this right now. So I said, Catie, I wish that I had the ring so bad, because if I did, I would kneel down right here, and I knelt down, and I would pull out the ring box out of my temple bag, and at this point she was like, oh my gosh, you're so dumb, like, let's just go, I'm freezing. And she's like 10 feet away from me, walking away, and I had the ring box in my hand, and she turned around and
I saw the box, and I was like, what? And I walked towards him, and he goes, Catie Marlene Porter, I love you and I will love you forever. Will you be my wife? It was just so great, and I was like, you're kidding me, you're kidding me.
You're kidding me, you're kidding me. And I was just, I mean, you look at the pictures and I was smiling and laughing because that was probably the best day of my life so far. The funnest thing that I have ever done was asking Catie Porter to marry me.
He got up and kissed me and put the ring on me and hugged me, and he goes, you have to say yes. So I said yes, and then we were engaged. And now we're getting married on November 21st, and we couldn't be more